All right, we are back. Now let's talk about the LPL. So the LPL is weird, as I mentioned earlier in the show. A lot of stuff isn't confirmed. It's a lot of rumors. It's a lot of these players are staying. Um, so we might not have a lot to talk about for certain teams. Kind of like On With Life, where it's just like two players or one player staying. But there is a lot to talk about still. Let's start off with like the free agents because I think the free agents are what dictate a lot of this conversation. We have a list here, and obviously not all these are going to happen. A lot of this is just talk. But of the free agents, we have Uzi and Doggo, Knight 369, Zoom, Ale, Icon, Crisp, Kanavi, Cream, Jackie Love, Sam D, Lang X. Oh God, how do you say that one?
Longxing.
Longxing.
Oh wait, who's after
No.
Longxing? Let's check the list. Hold on, let me rescue you, my dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Longxing, Xiaopeng, and
Yeah.
then SMLZ. Our boy Jizuke. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's not as weird as it's gonna be. Relax, there's a reason. Bo, Yukao, maybe Arya, maybe Gory, maybe Morgan, maybe Prince, maybe Leo, maybe Rich, Clid, or Sword Art. That's who we got.
So, a lot of big names on there. Even if you don't watch the LPL, you probably recognize a few of them. But let's start off with BLG. Because BLG seems like they are in charge of the offseason, and they're also alphabetically first. So,
two great reasons to start with BLG.
But honestly, if the rumors are true with what's going on with this team, it is actually what is the domino for the rest of the offseason. So right now, it seems like either it's going to be Zoom or 369 in the top lane, which is insane. They way in the jungle. Knight is coming over from Top Esports, apparently. And then the ADC role is incredibly spicy. It might be Uzi or Doggo, both of which are just
amazing,
crazy fun. Even if this team sucks, it's still going to be fun. And then in support, we either have Crisp or Ming, which are two of the best LPL supports. You could take the reins on this. It's crazy.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So there is a couple of parentheses I want to immediately throw in. So the first one is Ming is almost certainly going to renew with RNG, which means probably we're looking at BLG Crisp. The main thing with Ming is he is interested in joining BLG should Uzi join BLG. Back to where we were. So Uzi and Ming, they played together for eons, and actually, it's not well known, but outside of the Chinese community, but Uzi's kind of, your stereotypical AD carry player. He's not that easy to get along with. He can be a bit toxic. But apparently, he flat out said the only support I've ever played with that I actually liked playing with was Ming. Everyone else, he kind of just dealt with them because he had to. Ming was someone he actually liked playing with. So there's that. And there's the added bonus of 369 slash Knight, which is Knight apparently said if they sign 369, he is not joining them. He does not want to play with 369 again.
Interesting.
So apparently that is one of the things. And of course, there are other top laners that they are looking into. So there is a rumor that BLG, Ale from LNG is considered a free agent, even though he probably will be renovating with LNG. Apparently, BLG offered him a higher salary. It could be BLG Ale. It's a possibility, not a probability, but it is a possibility. And of course, there's a ton of other LPL top laners, right?
Yeah,
like
there's plenty.
Those three of Zoom, 369, and Ale are the three ones that they are looking at. And Knight is the main thing, the main player they are trying to grab, and if they do, that's insane. The main thing is what if they don't? That's my question.
Yeah, who's the backup?
There's been no leaks about backup. There's been no rumors of backup for BLG.
I'm like looking at the list of free agents, and honestly, like mid lane, it's kind of lacking a bit.
It is. Especially because both Gory and Yukal have two teams that they are already allegedly attached to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really leave you with a lot of options.
BLG comes in with like a big offer then, yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So there is one free agent who's not on our list. But so he was on WE. His name is Mole. He is actually, in my opinion, the best battle Zoe in the world. Like he's really good at like 2v2, 3v3 skirmishes with Zoe. He's insane with that, but that's about it. He played with a lot of the BLG players previously. Like he's played with Wei, he's played with Bew, who is their current top laner, who if they get no one, they're gonna stick with Bew. I really hope they don't. They've dropped PP God, but he also used to play with him. Yes, that
Great
is an
name.
actual,
Great name.
you know,
Why am
that
I out of focus?
this is a player we have. You know, of course, I just
There you
dropped,
go.
so it's now you're back.
Yeah.
But so my thing with BLG is there's a lot of ifs. And yes, you know, if they get everyone right, if they go, you know, Zoom, Wei, Knight, Uzi, Ming, that's insane.
Oh yeah.
That is actually nuts. If they don't, you know, they could look middle of the pack because they were middle of the pack, right?
True.
If they keep multiple of their players, BLG were a middle of the pack team. This team made it into playoffs, beat OMG, and that's literally all that they did.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like I'm okay with it. And BLG has a track record of managing to assemble really good teams and then sucking.
Well, it's interesting that like they're going for the super team approach, right?
Yes, they are.
It seems to be like I guess the trend this year is we're seeing super teams in every region. But it's interesting that we're going to be seeing one in the LPL because the LPL is so lush with talent. And there, you have like all these teams. So if they're able to get this roster, let's just say they get Zoom, they get Wei, they have Knight. If they get Uzi Ming, it's crazy. But Doggo Crisp is still crazy.
Doggo Crisp is disgusting.
Even if it's Doggo, like, God, what if is it a possibility it's Uzi Crisp, or is that like?
It is.
Okay.
Uzi Crisp is a possibility, and that's even
that's great.
I think Uzi Crisp is actually more disgusting because Crisp. Everyone. So this was a while ago, but they did a survey of they asked every single LPL bot lane, like the duel, who do you hate going up against? Everyone who wasn't FPX answered LWX and Crisp because they're both fucking psychopaths. They both go in when they have no business going in. Yes, they int. Yes, they die in 2v2s, but they also get 2v2 kills that you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, shouldn't happen on paper.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember there was like this one distinct time that they got a 2v2 kill as Kog'Maw and fucking Rakan. What kind of a lane presence is Kog'Maw? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're like, so, but they balance off of the fact of a lot of bot laners are like, no one's insane enough to go in as fucking Kog'Maw and Rakan, and then they go in and Kog'Maw Rakan, and you're like, oh shit, they're actually crazy enough to do that. So Crisp has that factor in the back of his brain, and I would love to see that paired with Uzi because that would be probably the most aggressive bot lane
possible. Yeah,
possible. I think that's almost like overkill. I think that is overkill actually, but I love it. I'm here for it, so I'm okay with it.
BLG is exciting. Let's go with the EDG. Seems like on your list there are 0 changes. I mean, this makes sense for obvious reasons. Fladre, JJ, Scout, Viper, and Mako. Sorry. It's a good team. There's a reason. There's a reason they won Worlds.
Exactly. Right. It's gonna be pretty fast. EDG stop. So the only free agent here is Viper. If Viper was to go anywhere, it'd be back to Korea. Who are the Korean teams that are currently looking for an AD carry? We would have like Hanwha, Live Sandbox, and that's about it.
Yeah, and
neither of those teams are fighting for first place. And if he were to go back to Korea, it would be to a top team. He's not going. I don't. He's happy on EDG apparently. He's getting along really well with Mako.
They bought him a house, man.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So, and there are a lot of rumors regarding Scout going back, but the same thing. Scout, if he goes back, it's either KT Rolster.
Oh, that's what I forgot to bring that up actually for the KT bit. Is that I read about that Scout rumor.
So it's either KT Rolster, Hanwha Life, or it's either KT Hanwha or who's the other team that needs a mid laner? There's a third. Oh no, it's not. No, it's just
two. Yeah.
So, and again, same thing. Neither of those teams are going to be fighting for first place.
Mhm.
I don't think neither of those teams are fighting for Worlds. Why would Scout drop that to go back, being that he is still on contract? So whichever of these teams were to pick him up, they would have to buy him, like get his salary, cover his contract, and buy him out from the team. That's an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I think EDG is most likely going to stay together. I mean, just contract-wise, it makes sense. But honestly, I kind of like it when world champion teams stay together because
Stay together,
you
and
get to see,
it would actually be the first.
you get to see how they act in a different meta, you know, and
Yep.
because obviously this is at least the off-season meta so far has been quite a shake-up from what World's meta was.
Definitely.
So it's going to be interesting in the long run to see how which teams are able to adapt to it, especially with how OP bounties are right now. We'll see how that goes for pro play. But I don't know. It's going to be fun. Next is FPX. Fun plus Phoenix.
So there's been a lot of rumors of people leaving FPX, and there's been
Well, we have
so
Chris
there
and
has
Scout,
been
Knight we just talked about.
no, there has been no confirmed rumors of anyone joining FPX. So we have Nuggery confirmed leaving, Tian confirmed leaving. We'll cover him in a minute because there is a team he's rumored to. Doinby confirmed leaving. Again, there's a team he is rumored to join. And Crisp is rumored to be leaving as well. There are multiple teams that he is linked to. We'll cover them when we get to them. The only one who's not rumored to be leaving is LWX. He could be re-signing with the team. He's still under contract, actually. So it's very likely, to an extent, LWX will be remaining. The few things that I have heard about FPX are Xiaohu will return as their top laner. For those of you who don't know, he was their top laner. He was Nuggery's sub top lane.
We're running into too hard.
Yeah, when Nuggery was really just not doing it, they're like, okay, you know what, screw it, we're going Xiaohu here. In the jungle, there is a couple of rumors. So the first is XLB. He used to be on RNG in 2020. RNG 2020, really rough year. Did not make playoffs for the first time in the org's history. Not his fault, by the way. I think he was fine. The problem was they had way too many issues in the mid lane, in the top lane, in the bot lane, and he was a rookie, and he walked into a house on fire, and that's a story we've all heard of before, right? Promising rookie, he joins a house on fire, and oh, there goes the rookie and all his potential. He gets thrown back to the LDL, and he got second place in summer. He had an incredible performance. So, and he is friends with Doinby. So he knows the FPX staff, allegedly. So he is one that could be joining. We got the possibility of Fofo joining in the mid lane. Again, there's a lot of FPX's coaching staff are from the PCS region, are from Hong Kong or Taiwan. Coach Warhorse, Coach Stake, they've all been players from the LMS region.
Do you think those coaches will be sticking around after the World's performance?
I think so. Right. I genuinely do think so.
Because I think a lot of that came down to Tion's injury and all that stuff.
Tion was just not playing. He had a massive injury.
I feel so bad for him. He got not screwed.
He got
yeah.
And Coach Warhorse has been with FPX for like 5 years now. So I don't think he's going anywhere, anytime soon. So I think if they get Fofo, and they're the other team who are massively interested in Doggo. So should BLG grab Uzi, FPX could just grab Doggo, and then your two imports would be Fofo, Doggo.
Is Doggo both a free agent, or is he on buyout?
No, he would be on buyout.
Okay.
That's why there's not so many teams interested in him as it could be. You go Fofo, Doggo, which are your two import players, and you have the coach. They're all from, if I'm not mistaken, they're literally all Taiwanese. So you would basically have a Taiwanese team on FPX, which would not surprise me in the least. As for supports goes, who the hell knows? Realistically, it's very likely Crisp is leaving. They could sign PP God again. He used to be on their academy team, but he never got the chance with Crisp. Crisp is leaving. PP God is available. Maybe, I don't know. The guy, he was really good in 2020, 2021. He just ran it down on support.
Wait, Dogo's
So
officially gone from Beyond.
yeah.
He is a free agent then.
Oh, then they dropped him officially
Yeah.
because he was still on contract. He's still on a contract.
They must have. He must have come up with some way to get out of that. But
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah. I had to check. Sorry, I was curious.
So yeah, there's like nothing certain at all regarding FPX. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, FPX obviously a pretty historic team. They had the Worlds win, but it seems like they're losing a lot of that. I guess not identity in a sense, but they're losing a lot of those players that made that run.
Yeah.
And probably
they're going to want a
probably
new
for the better.
generation.
Yeah, probably
they're
for the
starting
better.
a new generation.
We're gonna get the TNG, and it's gonna be better than the original. And that's what you gotta hope for FPX right now. It's a bit sad to see it kind of disband
It really
because
is.
FPX was always a really fun team to watch.
And there's also the added bonus of all FPX players, they were very similar actually to G2 in the sense that the players were very, very close. They were all really good friends on and off the Rift.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember vividly, there was this one memory of FPX, which is by far my favorite, which is there was the one time that Tion turned on his stream, and apparently he was crying during his stream. And everyone's like, oh shit, what happened? And he was crying because LWX ran it down so hard in scrims that he couldn't focus on his games. And Chris was maniacally laughing in the back of the house because he heard everything. And he was like, yeah, I helped him run it down, by the way. And I'm just like, what the hell is this team anyways? Like, so they were all a really like close unit group. So it's really sad to see them disbanding and all of them going probably their separate ways. Yeah. But it is what it is,
yeah,
right?
That's sports though. No team could last.
Forever.
Eventually, something's going to come up. Speaking of World's winning teams, next is Invictus Gaming. So far, I guess actually you should do a rundown of every roster because you actually know what you're talking about.
So IG, totally not biased over here, by the way. Not wearing an IG, definitely not wearing an IG jersey.
It's okay. Got this.
So yeah. So okay. There's a lot to take in on IG. Every single offseason, is the Shy returning? Is the Shy leaving? Is Rookie returning? Is Rookie leaving? Is Rookie finally getting his Chinese residency after being on IG for like fucking 6 years? We don't know. So the latest I've heard is Rookie is re-signing with IG. He's probably not getting his residency though, so he'll still be an import. The Shy, again, the only LCK team interested in him apparently is Damwon Kia. Even then, I don't think he's going. LPL teams, I don't know how interested they are in him. He's kind of like IG's brand at this point. So my guess is both of them stay. That would be my guess. This is hypothetical. I hope Shun, their jungler, stays. He was amazing. He actually walked into the exact same situation that XLB did, which is he walked into, as a rookie, he walked into a house on fire. And he, even though yes, IG sucked and they did not make playoffs in summer, which was absolutely scandalous, he was their best player. He looked really, really good. So I hope they do keep him. And their main question is, who the hell are we getting in the bot lane? Again, every single year, this is the question. Who is IG getting in their bot lane? Every year there's a rumor Baolan is leaving. This guy has been here since, 1931. Like, honest to God, every year there's a rumor. Baolan is leaving IG. He never leaves. This guy, he's been on IG through I think 5 or 6 generations of AD carries. And who is their actual AD carry? Well, Wink is allegedly leaving. They have 3, by the way. So Wink is allegedly leaving. Their second one, who is...
I'm pulling it up right now. I got you. It's
is it Lucas?
You have...
You have Wink.
Yeah, you have Puff, Wink, and...
Holy shit, I forgot Puff was on the team.
Yeah, Puff, Wink, and
was
Xiaohu,
also rumored to be leaving. So Lucas renamed. I still call him Lucas because that used to be his IGN.
No, anyways, Lucas is a support. He's a sub-support. At least that's what's listed.
Wait, what?
That's what's listed here. I can only be as good as a Lolesports.
Was it Snow? Oh my god. Hold on. Who the hell? One of them renamed.
Is it
one of their bot lane renamed?
Snow is also a sub. He's also on the roster.
So yeah, IG, by the way.
Wasn't Snow
Oh yeah. Okay, so Xiaohu is their academy That's why I was like, I'm not recognizing the name. Someone must have changed their name.
Oh, he
So,
was brought on for the tournament. Yeah, he's a tech
yeah, he was
sub.
brought on for the
Yeah,
tournament.
okay. Sorry.
I completely forgot about that. So yeah, they have a ton of AD carries. None of them are staying, probably, by the way.
Jackie
Uh,
Love.
so
Jackie
there is.
Love.
So here's the thing: if they're signing the Shy and Rookie, they need a Chinese AD carry. So Jackie Love is possible. Am I hoping it's Jackie Love? Absolutely. This is a 2018 jersey for a reason. Huan Fong is rumored, but unlikely. It would be incredible. I hope for his career it's not, though. IG is not the best career move right now, apparently. So yeah, you kind of got Jackie Love, and I don't think Jackie Love is going to reunite with Baolan because he was the reason he left in the first place. If this guy leaves for Top Esports for 2 years, comes back, and he still has the same support, I think he might just lose it.
If he's able to get Crisp, though.
They are interested in Crisp, yes. Yeah. They are one of the teams that are in the risk.
Crisp Jackie Love sounds disgusting.
Crisp Jackie Love is no. If Uzi Crisp was overkill, so is Jackie Love Crisp.
Yeah.
Like, talk about lane domination down there. IG, there's only so much they can do. Like, they're getting a new bot lane, and everything else is probably staying the same. That's basically IG.
All right. Let's go on to JDG. I don't know why, but I always find that really hard to say. Tell me, what's going on here?
A lot. Thank God, too. So, JDG, for those of you who don't watch the LPL, yes, they made Worlds in 2020, but so JDG, they're kind of, think of JDG this way. Think of a couple, right? Married couple, where the partners have cheated on each other multiple times, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? We should go to couples therapy because that's just what we need. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. You guys have cheated on each other multiple times. Go your own separate ways. It'll be better for everyone. That's literally what JDG needed to do. And apparently that's what they're doing. Zoom is up for sale. He's not a free agent, but they're wanting to sell Zoom. Kanavi wants to go back to the LCK. I don't know if he's going to make it, but either way, he's up for sale. I have no idea what the plan with Yagao is. They sold Mystic. I have no idea to who. The Loken is taking a break, and I have no idea what's going on with Lumao. So this roster is blowing up.
It's just question marks all over, yeah.
There's a whole lot of who's leaving, but there's not a whole lot of who's joining. I know 369 is interested in joining JDG. I know JDG had tryouts where they were trying to recruit Cryan from RNG. I've heard that they're in the race for Doggo. They have the money.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't think that's a question with JDG.
So, but other than that, there's nothing. Like, jungle wise, there's been very few rumors of anyone actually joining JDG. So I'm not sure. Like, I'm just glad, and I hope it's the case that they're just going to everyone go their separate ways, because I think that they're all really good players. So Zoom is my favorite top laner. I think that this guy is the best top laner in the world. But JDG did not do anything with him. Yeah. They were just like, oh yeah, you're gonna be like, and it's not even that you're on tank duty. They're just like, we're leaving you
to do nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna be there. You're our top laner. You're there because you have to. And I'm like, you do realize this guy, he plays Ornn unironically. He has probably the cleanest Camille play that isn't from Bin or Ale. Mm-hmm. He's really good at Fiora. He plays Jax. He plays Dr. Mundo. He plays Volibear. And he solo kills people on Volibear. He's like, he plays Alawi. Like, he is basically lane domination, and he carries it over really well into the team fight, all while being a weak side top laner, allegedly. Because he's a weak side top laner because they have to be. Yeah. So he's a really good player. I think Kanavi, great player, superstar in his own right. I think he could stand to be more consistent. Yagao is the one that I'm kind of struggling seeing where he would fit into any other team. Not that I think he's bad. I think he's very limited. He needs to get like 3 certain picks, and if he doesn't get one of those 3 picks, he's kind of irrelevant. He either needs like Zoe LeBlanc or Azir for him to be consistent if he doesn't get one of those 3, or Kiana for that matter. None of those 3 are kind of in the meta. I mean, Azir and Zoe are but yeah. You know.
was always, I think, going to be fine this season.
Yeah, but still, like, it's still
This year's
very
a little bit
limited,
more
right? It's
questionable.
still very limited. We have no idea who their AD carry is going to be, and Lumao has just been there since JDG was formed. So I'm just kind of assuming he's part of the establishment at this point. He's kind of part of the furniture. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on with JDG.
All right. LNG is next, and you actually did not put any question marks next to this, so I'm going to take the lead so I can actually speak. We have Ale in the top lane. You had Tazim. That's not right. Tarzan in the jungle. Doing B in the mid, because that would be really exciting. Light as their ADC, and Iwandi as support. So Doing B, let's just start there. That would be awesome. I honestly, like, if Doing B is to blow up and like go somewhere, I'm trying to think of mid, like, where would he go, right? And LNG is not a bad team. That's actually a really competitive team if this ends up being the case. Light's quite good. Doing B's insane, obviously. Tarzan is absurdly good as well. Ale's insane. How's Iwandi? I really don't know. Is Iwandi great for standards?
So here's the thing. LPL supports is actually the roughest. It's the roughest role for us.
I think that's most regions. I would say that's probably the case.
I think we actually struggle more than most regions. Like, over in NA, you guys, you have Vulcan, he's been to Worlds. You have Corey JJ, he's
only
been
good
to Worlds.
NA ADC support bro. Besides, I guess Afro, but yeah.
Well, okay, no, if you're talking like pure NA, but then you got Corey JJ. Like, there's a lot of Ignar. I think that they're all
Ignar, yeah, Hui.
They're all good. They're all really, like, they're all fairly close.
Ignar's a free agent.
I don't think he's throwing it.
I know. I'm kidding.
They're all really close in. You could kind of pick and choose who you want, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get similar results. They're all good. They're all competitive. Over in EU, same thing. You have a ton. You have Mickey X. You have Hilla saying, yeah, they int, but they're also carries.
Yeah.
They have God, what was it? Was it what was SK's support? I'm not gonna remember. It's Traits.
Traits. Yeah, who went jungle?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So in the LPL, you kind of got you get Ming, you get Crisp, you get Mako, and you get Lumao, or you get no one, or you get a Humega Law. Essentially, those are your options. You either get one of those four, or you get a Humega Law. Iwandi was one of those Humega Laws. He used to be a Janna one trick on the Chinese super server, so take that as you will. Janna one trick turned into Alistar and Leona two trick, by the way. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes, but it goes. I think he is serviceable. Do I think he's S tier? No.
No, but
do I think he would be the weakest link on this roster? Yes. Do I think he's horrible? No. I think he's fine. I think of this LNG roster, if Doinby decides to play ball again, this LNG roster could win Worlds.
Oh yeah, this is easily a Worlds tier roster, like,
because you got an amazing top laner who, as long as carries are viable, he's fine. Just don't put ally on tanks. Do not go there. Like, even Set is you're treading in dangerous waters.
Yeah, bruisers are like, edge cases.
He has to be Jax, Camille, Fiora, Quinn, Ryze. Those are his top laners. Anything else, it starts to get kind of iffy. Wukong is fine too.
Yeah, scrappy, essentially scrappy characters. Yeah.
Yeah, Tarzan. There's no need for introduction. Everyone knows Tarzan. Doinby and Tarzan, absolutely amazing.
That'd be an insane mid jungle.
I honest to God think Light is a top 3 AD carry in the LPL, but people just ignore him because it was a Tarzan show, and I think that's fair. But for a safe, like, for a weak side AD carry, Light, I think, more than does his job. And he goes toe-to-toe with some of the best AD carries. Like, he is like, Light and Iwandi are like the 1-2v2 lane that doesn't get shoved out by our bully bot lanes in like LWX and Crisp, or Gala and Ming, or Viper and Mako. They don't get shoved out by them. Yeah. They actually shove them back. So I think this LNG roster is really hype.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, like, with my limited LPL knowledge, like, that sounds like a really fun team. I mean, obviously it's not changing too much, but that's sometimes you don't need to redo all 5 spots, you know.
And here's the thing, right? So LNG made it to Worlds. They almost made it out of groups. They almost made it out of groups, and they're changing one player, Doinby, for Icon, which is a massive upgrade. Like that's not. It's not even a discussion.
And even if they made it out of groups, they probably just would have been slaughtered by DK anyway. So I mean,
100%.
yeah.
It would have been ugly actually. But like for those of you who don't know, swapping Icon for Doinby is kind of like going from, I don't know, Golden Glue to. He's like the last relevant NA reference I have. Sorry, it's like going from, I don't know, Golden Glue to.
Oh my god!
I can't think
you
of
do an EU reference if it helps.
No, it doesn't help me at all. God, who's TL's mid laner? Bjergsen.
Jensen.
You know what? There you go. It's going from
Bjerg.
Golden Glue to Bjergsen. There you go. That's fine. That works.
That works.
It's actually really good because they're all boomers, right? All 4 of them are boomers.
Yeah, they all are. They all are boomers. All right, let's go on to League's greatest disappointment. Your favorite team. I guess the big news here for us Western fans is Shadow is probably returning. Yay!
He's on contract, and I would go as far to say Shadow was their best player. Does that say a lot? No. But he was probably their best player.
Maybe they can blow play-ins together because that's what Shadow did on Mad Lions.
Well, so here's the thing. So LGD kind of called their X back, right? So they got 3 of the 5 players that made it to Worlds in 2020 with that LGD roster, which almost didn't make it out of play-ins. And then they signed Shadow, who didn't make it out of play-ins. And then this team doesn't make playoffs. Wow.
Wow, what a shock.
What a shocker.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think so Shadow was really good on LGD. He had really good early game tempo. He really set the pace. The problem with LGD was they had no shot caller. I think Shadow was actually their shot caller. And they had no bot lane. LGD's bot lane was Kramer, and I think they were running still Chance.
Is Kramer gone now? Or
no, Kramer's still with them, but I'm kind of hoping he's not. I loved Kramer, don't get me wrong. He used to be in a free KD carry, so to an extent, I do really like Kramer. But he's getting old, and he's not having the same performances. He can perform on Ezreal and Jinx, that's literally it. LGD needs an actual bot laner, and Chance is certainly a support. I'll give him that. I don't know what else I can give him, but that's about it. I can give him a support title.
There you go. So
LGD, probably they're going for a reboot. I did hear that they are picking up both Puff and Southwind from IG. So Xie is probably renewing. So they're probably going to go with the same top side and an upgraded bot lane. And so to be fair, LGD almost made playoffs in summer. They finished 1 game behind OMG, which was the last place. No, behind Suning, which was the last place team. So if they had won 1 more game, they would have made it into playoffs. So I think, could LGD make playoffs? I guess.
Probably, yeah. But
they could. Could they also bomb out and be even worse? They could. So I don't know what to think about LGD right now.
All right, fair enough. Now to the exciting one. Another just Western back-to-back hits here. Ninjas in Pajamas, the ultimate
I got nothing for you.
question mark team. So let's rewind a bit. So NIP has had, I think it's had a fair amount of rumors, just nothing's come of it. There was the reckless stuff that was a possibility. It seems there was just like
I know they apparently went after Adam.
Yeah,
they went after Adam, and then he signed with BDS, which I actually, honest to God, like I wouldn't blame him if he had just taken the NIP and say, you know what, screw this region, I'm disappearing.
Yeah, imagine you just go from the LFL to the LEC for half a split, and then you just go to the LPL. Like it's actually crazy. Yeah, like that would be hype. But like nuts. Honestly, like with Ninjas in Pajamas, of any team, if there is a Western player coming in, it's NIP.
This would be the team.
And I think there's 2 reasons they're going to do this. 1, branding. And 2, I think there's actually a lot of really good Western free agents up. We were kind of joking earlier with the Jizuke thing, but honestly, he's a free agent, and it fits for he is an LPL style mid laner.
Yes,
genuine.
100%. We would have 100% embraced Jizuke.
Yeah.
In the LPL.
And we were
He would fit
talking
right
about
well.
this like off screen. We were joking about like him shit talking in all chat in like English, and it would just be like the funniest thing ever. Um, but like honestly, like at
Hit them
NIP,
with the Italian and be even worse.
oh my goodness, it'd be great if it was
Because
an
half,
Italian.
half of the like there are quite a few players that actually do speak English,
I
but
don't
he
doubt
starts
that. Yeah,
swearing at them. He starts swearing at them
an
in Italian.
Italian.
They're like, what?
The Chinese pro view buyers are like, what is he saying? Breaking
Oh
out
god.
Huawei Translate or whatever the heck.
They have to get Shadow in to translate for the teams,
There we
so they
go.
can translate just in case shit talk.
There we go. That's it. That's the move. They're gonna buy Shadow and they're
Oh
gonna
god.
get. But no, memes aside, like there are a fair amount of players who are Western players that could unironically get to Ninjas in Pajamas. Do I think it's gonna happen? Probably not, but it is possible and it is something on the table. The rest of it is just no one knows yet. I feel like NIP is either going to just go for scraps, or they're just gonna see if they can get a bunch of younger talent that they see in the development scene, and just go with that, and probably bomb out the first year, but just expect that and then go from there. I think
Right.
either are good options from a GM perspective. I just wonder if they bomb out their first year, that branding is like buying the spot does not seem worth it just to bomb it. You know?
Yeah. So there is actually there's one quasi rumor that I've heard. So they are looking into getting Icon from LNG. You know,
That'd be a good signing.
they're fighting with TSM. So and I mean, so here's the thing. It's a good signing because Icon, he's a serviceable mid laner. And the thing is, when it comes to branding, Icon is as good as you get, right? The guy, supermodel, super good looking, and he speaks English, right? So if you want to do a branding where you have, your branding not only to your Chinese, you're appealing to your Chinese fans, but to your Western fans as well. I think Icon fits that duality really well because he speaks English really, really well.
Yeah.
So I think that he's a fit, and with Doinby joining LNG, Icon kind of has nowhere to go, and he's a free agent. So I guess NIP Icon could be a thing. Anyone else, we have no clue.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd be fine with that. That sounds fun. Sounds like a good fit. The rest, yeah, I don't know. NIP, I wish them the best of luck because I want to see them do well, but do I think it's probably gonna happen?
Watch them just re-sign their Victory 5 roster. I would lose it. I would actually.
Yeah. Did they extend over any of the contracts? I don't know how that works.
No one knows.
Okay.
There's been nothing official, and considering the team went 0-17, they went 0-16. I'm kind of hoping that they didn't do anything, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
NIP, they've been cheap in the past.
Yeah, but then why buy an LPL spot if you're gonna be cheap? I don't understand. If you want to be cheap, just wait for the freaking LEC expansion, and then you and Karami Corp go in and join the LEC.
Right. There you go.
It's like, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. It's such a weird thing to see like a Western team in the LPL. I don't think it will be the last. I'll say that.
No.
I think we'll see probably a soccer team buy a spot. I know there was rumors about, was it Arsenal?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Arsenal that was interesting.
It was Arsenal.
Which
would be
crazy.
Hilarious.
I mean, honest to God, I would love to see it because Schalke was the team I rooted for in the LEC just because they were a soccer team. Sad. Unfortunate, my one EU team I liked is gone. So now I'm back. I'm back to being a dedicated hater on the entirety of the LEC. Yeah, but honestly, if Arsenal was like, yo, well, we're doing an LPL team, I'd be like, yo, let's go. I'll buy a jersey. I'll buy a jersey. Let's go. Go Arsenal. But all right, next is OMG. One of the weirdest names in all of esports. Oh my god. Is actually a esports team.
Yeah, they're so of the things that they are, esports team is certainly one.
It is.
Yeah, that's kind of all they got going for them.
OMG is historically awful, correct? They've been awful.
They are one of the most historical teams. They are one of the oldest teams in the LPL. The last time they were relevant was 2017 or 18. One of the two, 17. It was 17.
I
2017.
got you. I'm pulling it up. Yeah.
Before that, they were relevant in 2014. So they were 2014, 2015, and 16. They disappeared.
But they
17,
won. Yeah, they won
did.
Rift Rivals 2017.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
2017 they did fine. 18, 19, and 20 they went to obscurity. 2021 they remained in obscurity. Here's the thing: spring, horrendous, really poor, really struggled in spring. Summer though, they brought in a young man named Cream. He was pretty good. He won Rookie of the Split, and he was really nasty on the Assassins. Akali, Silas. This guy was monstrous on those 2 picks. And he solo carried OMG into playoffs. OMG got slaughtered by BLG in playoffs. They got 3-0'd. It was done. Everyone gets to go to dinner and go home.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it there. No one was thinking OMG was going to make it there. Here's the thing. With the change in laws to people now have to be 18 to play in the LDL, Cream is not going to be 18, I think, until like August or September.
Oh, that sucks.
So OMG literally lost their best player. The org doesn't have money, so they're not going to be able to get it anyway. Cream was their investment. Okay, Cream has been with this org since like 2017, 2018. He got scouted out super young. They, made sure he joined their group. He's been with them. They finally get to promote him, and they're like, actually, you can't play now. So OMG's like, well, fuck, right? Like, they got nothing.
It's exactly what people were worried about, with the whole law changes. Yeah.
So, we have no idea if they're just gonna wait it out. They'd say, you know what, we're fucked in spring, but let's try to do something in summer. I think they're gonna just sell Cream and try to, do something from the money, because he would be worth enough. I think Cream is really talented. He has a lot of potential. So he would be worth enough. But yeah, that's about it I got for OMG. Like they've really, like, I can tell you their roster, but like, so New is really mediocre. Aki is horribly mediocre. Abel is Inti at best, okay at worst, and Cold used to be the best support during 2017 for Ardent Sensor meta, and he changed his name. So he used to be called 5 back during Ardent Sensor meta. He changed it to Cold, and then the team went cold. Like, it's, I don't know, dude. Like, I got nothing. I got nothing for this team. Like, realistically, I'm looking at OMG and I'm like, send help.
Well, they're probably gonna need it. Speaking of teams that are weird names, Rare Atom. We were joking about this earlier. I was looking at the jerseys. They're so ugly. I'm going to actually put it up on screen right now, so anyone who's still watching this late can look and laugh at how ugly the Rare Atom jerseys are. It's embarrassing. Whoever designed them, not a good job. But Rare Atom is interesting because they have, a bit here, at least on our beautiful list. We have Cube, Leon, am I saying that right? Leon, Fofo, iBoy, and Hang. I guess that's Hang? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Hung. Yay. This stuff's confusing. They're English.
No, that's not the problem. Like, dude, it's funny because like, these people, like, they don't check in with other languages when they're choosing their names. But,
there's probably been some quite offensive ones. I'd have to guess.
But going around being named Hung is kind of like a that's a choice. It's right up there with
you're with Hung and Hang, so it's like it's kind of it's a lose-lose.
You can fly under them.
Well, I don't know. Hang's awful too. So it's like, what do you want to go with? So in other words, what we're saying is Rare Atom and Hung should change his name.
I think a lot of things should change here. So I don't think they will, which is what drives me nuts. Okay, so here's the download. So those 5 players are the same 5 players that played for RA in 2020.
Okay.
1. Are they bad? No. RA had really respectable finishes all year. Here is my problem with RA. They have the worst macro I have ever seen in my life. this includes play-in teams.
Do you think
this
like
includes regional, like minor regions that I watch?
could a
I
coach fix
watch
it?
the CB LOL.
Could a coach change?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yes, but it's bad.
Mhm.
Like if RA had any sense of macro, they would have made it to Worlds. And ironically enough, with Worlds meta, I think RA would have slapped at Worlds. They had a really good setup for Worlds meta. That's why I hate that the meta changed so
Oh yeah,
drastically.
it's so
LNG and FPX got shafted by the meta change.
I think Riot heard a lot of response
But
this
that's a
year
different-
from fans and coaches and players that I think they're going to take it a little
That's
bit
a bad idea.
less
Yeah, I hope so.
in the next couple of years. I mean, it's been 3 years of this shit. It's insane.
Yeah. So anyways, RA, they have really bad macro. It's like, you know what? Maybe if, you know, your top laner just got caught off and they're all going up to Rift Herald, all 5 of them, maybe you shouldn't 4-man try to fight a 4v5, being that they got there first and they have a pick comp and you're going in blind with no vision. Like, it's really simple things. You know, maybe don't rotate for, you know, third Drake over Baron.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that I'm like, a coach could fix it, but so could common sense.
Yeah.
And this team still almost made it to Worlds. Like, that's what drives me nuts with RA. The fact that they could be so much better, but they're not.
Mhm.
Like, it drives me up the wall. Apparently Fofo wants out again. For those of you who don't know, Fofo has a history of not being the easiest person to deal with. Let's put it that way.
So if they get rid of him though and they run 4 of the 5 back, and do you think
they get nothing?
You think
they get nothing?
They get nothing?
They relied way too much on Fofo. They're gonna have to change the coaching staff, get a great mid laner. They'd have to be someone like Xie. It would have to be there's like Xie, Yagao maybe could fit into this team. Yucal, I guess, but he's ready to land. He's preparing going to TT, so God bless America on that one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they're kind of really Fofo heavy, and they've always really been Fofo heavy. So they're known for Fofo and bad macro. If they lose one, they kind of lost half of their identity. So I'm not 2022 is not looking good or promising for Rare Adam.
It's not the year of Rare Adam, unfortunately.
Not the year of Rare Adam.
Let's talk about Rogue Warrior. Another.
I'd rather not.
All right. That is all.
So we have to quit. There is a couple of redeeming factors in Rogue Warriors. So a lot like OMG, they really struggle with money. They are one of the poorest teams in the LPL, which is still rich. Don't get me wrong. But there's been apparently they got bought out, and then the team, the Warrior that bought them did literally nothing. Yeah. So they have no one memorable on their roster. They have Betty, who is pretty good. I think he's fine. Yeah, he's staying, I hope, for the sake of Rogue Warriors. But the main player I want to bring up on Rogue Warriors team is their jungler, Xiaohu, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure I got the right one.
You gotta know if you got the right one. That's gonna go if roster's unmemorable.
There's a lot of Xiaos in the jungle in the LPL.
You know, that makes sense.
There's Xiao. Yes, it is Xiaohu. So Xiaohu, he came out of nowhere. This guy literally came out of nowhere, and he played really well. So this team beat Rare Adam, by the way. Rare Adam was on like an 8-team winning streak. Our Rogue Warriors had no wins. They signed this dude Xiaohu. They've just found like, I don't know, some random stoner, signed him to the team, and they're like, holy shit, this guy actually plays really good League of Legends. They like 2-0'd RA, and then they like 2-0'd Suning, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then everyone started hyping them to win, to make it into playoffs. And then the game of the split happened, which is Rogue Warriors against Thunder Talk Gaming, which was a game and a half.
I think I saw that on YouTube at some point. It was
my favorite.
I Will Dominate or something.
It had my favorite moment in the entire LPL history, which was Betty was playing on as Ziggs.
Uh-huh.
Late game, full build, right? Like this kid, he's pumping out the damage. Long Xing is playing Mundo. If Rogue Warriors lose this game, they're out. Their year is done. If they win, they maybe make playoffs. They get to like 50% chance of making playoffs.
Mhm.
Long Xing is playing Mundo. He walks past Rogue Warriors. He was literally like, "Excuse me, I'm gonna go kill your AD carry," and they let him. He just walks past all four. He didn't flash. He didn't ult. He did nothing. He just walks. It was literally Mundo.
Like, we don't want to hit Mundo. It's a waste of time.
It was literally Mundo goes where he pleases, and then Betty's just like,
guys,
"Are you just fucking with me right now?"
I can't do anything. He's not taking damage.
He just gets run over, and he just dies. And then he just TPs to the top lane. He's like, "Yeah, no, fuck this game. I'm winning this," and he takes the next Nexus. So that's what happened to Rogue Warriors. They got one random good dude. They won 2 games, and that's it. That's what they got going for them.
So they're gonna build around probably Xiaohu and maybe Betty for the next year.
And if they do, maybe they make playoffs, or maybe they get to a position where they can make playoffs in 2023. Will they? Probably not, because they don't have money. They don't have their Rogue Warriors' main thing is they don't have money.
Well,
so
let's go to a team that does have money. RNG. MSI
they
winners.
Actually don't. Surprisingly, they don't, because they're trying to sell their spot.
Yeah, which is baffling.
Because they can't. They're not signing anyone. So RNG isn't signing anyone. If they lose anyone, they are replacing them with their academy players.
Oh, so that's who Yukai is on this list?
Yes.
All right.
And to be fair, I think he is really, really good. I think he's really, really promising. He plays a lot of like the battle mages.
Mm-hmm.
So the likes of Cassiopeia, Oriana, Victor. But he also transitions into more assassin-y styles. So the Akali and the Sylas, essentially.
Well, also, I mean, if RNG loses Ming, do you know who replaces, or do you not know?
No clue. There's also the rumor that Xiaohu is returning to the mid lane.
Oh.
And then they're just bringing in Zhao Bai, who is their top laner from their academy team. I have no idea what's going on there. I
think Xiaohu did pretty good this year in top.
Oh no, so considering top lane was not his role, he was amazing.
Yeah.
He got MV. He was their all pro top laner for both spring and summer. He was really good. Like there was a reason why RNG was playing around him. And I think that, to be fair, regardless if Xiaohu stays in the mid lane or the top lane, I think that RNG is still going to be really, really good in 2022. My main thing is I think a lot of teams kind of figured out that, hey, you guys kind of rely on Xiaohu to kind of carry you guys. If we shut down Xiaohu, we kind of shut down the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Also, does Gala learn how to play more than one champion at the same time? Probably not.
Yeah.
Kaisa one trick into Tristana one trick into Varus one trick into Ziggs one trick into whatever the hell he did at Worlds. Yeah, I don't know. Like RNG they're a rough roster, but at the same time they all have potential, right? I think Wei is really, really good in the jungle. Yeah. Xiaohu had an amazing year. I think that I give Gala a lot of crap, to be fair, but I think he's still good. And I think Ming is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Ming's
Ming is as long as they keep Ming, I think that this team could still easily fight for Worlds.
And also, if they lose Crying, like I think most people would say Crying was the weakest point of that team. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah. I still think, I mean, based on what I know, this seems like that will still be a fairly competitive roster, and regardless, be fun to see Xiaohu in the mid lane again.
And honestly, regardless of where Xiaohu goes, if he goes to the top lane, so they keep Yukai, or he goes to the mid lane and they bring in their top laner, their academy top laner, both players who would be replacing would be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
like they're both serviceable. So I think RNG is going to be fine. But there is still the rumor of them wanting to sell their spot, which is interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, especially like such a historic team like RNG.
Yeah, I think they would actually keep who would buy them out.
Oh, they keep the name. They keep the name for
sure.
I
hope so.
I'd hope so too. Speaking of another very historic LPL team, World Elite, and one of your favorites, right? Your World Elite.
Yeah, fan? they're actually kind of my favorite. They were the one who brought me into the LPL in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, for those who don't know, World Elite right now, they're kind of known as the world's ticket selling team in the LPL because they got 3-0'd by FPX and they got 3-0'd by EDG, then they got 3-0'd by RNG, and then they got 3-1 by LNG. All 4 teams who made it to World. So
That's
they're labeled.
That's
They're
brutal.
labeled the ticket selling.
That's so
world's
brutal.
ticket selling team. I love it.
Oh my god.
And here's the thing. So my main problem with WE is the coaching staff.
Mhm.
I think that if they got themselves a good coaching staff, this team is nasty. So they have Breathe. For those of you who don't know, Breathe is really good. Like this guy is nasty in the top lane. Like I think he has the cleanest Irelia I've actually ever seen. Like his Irelia is wow. It's absolutely incredible. Beishong, he fell off in summer, but he still has the potential to stay. However, there is a rumor that WE had tryouts with Tian. So I think either or is good, but either or also has very clear problems.
Do you think that they maybe go with Tian and have him as a backup in case the wrist issues arise again?
It's possible. There's also the fact that Tian brings a bit of a veteran voice to this team.
Fair.
So WE is actually what we were talking about earlier. So all 5 of them. I think that the oldest player is like 19.
Damn. Holy.
Yeah. So I think Brave is either 19 or 20. Beishong was, I think he was 19. Shanks is 18, if not. Yeah, I think he just turned 18. He barely avoided the.
Dodged.
Yeah, he just dodged it.
Dodged Xi Jinping's wrath.
Elk and Missing are both like 18. So everyone on this team is super young. So the fact that they actually made playoffs during both splits of 2020 and then in 2021 barely made it to Worlds with all 18-year-olds essentially is actually incredible. So if they actually brought in a world champion in Tian, a more veteran player, even though he's not actually that old, he has experience. He has way more experience than all of them. I think that it could be really good. There's also the rumor of Missing could be leaving again. This happens every year. It's the same thing with Baolan because he is kind of viewed as I talked about earlier with Crisp, Ming, Mako, and Lumao. Missing is the 5th. If you're gonna rank the LPL supports, Missing stays in 5th. So he does have a lot of interest in him. So it's possible he leaves. It's possible he stays. Who knows at this point? Everyone else, I think that Shanks stays, I think Elk stays, and I hope Wreath stays.
Let's go to the team that no one knows anything about because it just seems to be exploding. Top Esports is probably not going to be a top team, but it's going to be interesting. So they seem to be no player is guaranteed the return, which is kind of sad. Because Top was, their 2020 run, I think got cut a little bit short. A lot of people were not expecting Suning to beat them. But
I don't think Suning was expecting Suning to beat them. But...
honestly, yeah. But Top Esports never really got their chance, I think, to shine as much as people were hoping before this whole roster imploded. But what's going on here?
So, Knight could be leaving, could be not. Karsa is probably leaving. Jackie Love is probably leaving. Who was there? There was Yuyanja and Juo. Both of them are probably leaving. Maybe Juo stays if Jackie Love stays, but I think he goes wherever Jackie Love goes because they were really, really aggressive bot lane. They were past overkill. I don't even know what is past overkill, but whatever it is, they were that. And it's really funny because so Juo, this was his first year in the LPL, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's paired with Jackie Love. Jackie Love's really aggressive. We don't know how that's going to work out. Rookie support over aggressive AD carry." Yeah, it turns out Juo was a more aggressive one of the two. So, but that being said, if they keep Knight, and there is rumors of Zoom joining this team, Zoom Knight is literally the best solo lanes you can get in the LPL.
Yeah.
Like, that is nasty. So as long as you don't get absolute, turned off their computer screen players for the other 3 roles, which I don't think they will. No. Even if they go cheap and they promote their academy roster, I think their academy bot lane and Photic and Key are actually they're really good.
So this is just another team that depends a lot on the BOG situation.
It does. Yeah. And even if they bring up their academy AD carry, it would be interesting because we would have a kid named Naruto in the league. So
I hope
I
it
mean, AD
happens.
carry, no, jungler.
Well,
So
okay, genuine question here. How can Riot make players with copyrighted stuff in their name? Like, how is that legal?
I have no clue.
I don't
I
think
mean,
it
he
is.
might
Like,
he might have to change. He might have to change if he
well,
joins the
I
LPL.
just think about like YouTube King and Smash, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, he gets away with it. Like,
So he might have to change. So I know Suning now Weibu's support on. Before he joined the LPL, he used to be called Uwu. Look that up. That is a fact. He used to go
OWO or UWO?
UWO.
Oh my god,
which is even more cursed.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. And he used to be on the same roster as Naruto, so that's just amazing.
Uwu and Naruto on the same team. Wow.
I know, like that's just what you need.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a possibility that your 2022 top esports roster will be Zoom, Naruto, Knight, Photic, and Key. So that's a roster, and I actually think it could actually, it's kind of a fuck around and find out roster, really.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to fuck around for too long, or else you will find out. And I think that I don't want to roll them out just yet, but it's not looking that good.
Not looking bright for the top fans. Unlucky.
Yeah.
Speaking of awful.
I know where this is going, and I'm
terrible
contesting
teams.
it.
TT, also known as Tyler 1, according to Michaela. Tell me about Tyler 1 and what's going on there.
All right, so if I, as a reporter, could find out one thing from the LPL, if someone came up to me, I can tell you one thing you want to know.
UCal?
No, some people would be like, oh, where's Jackie going? Where's Knights going? Is BLG going to land a roster? My question would be, how fucking hard does Captain run it down in scrims for this man to not be on this team? So earlier in 2021, I keep on forgetting what year it is.
Same. They
had 4 mid laners, okay? One was immediately discarded as a sub on their academy team. I don't know why they even signed him. He's not the one going to the TSM. It's his sub that's going to TSM, apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. They signed Captain from IG's academy team. They kept their old mid laner, Twyla, and they kept a mid laner called Yi. All right?
Master Yi. Oh my god.
Twyla has been with his org for a long time, but he shouldn't. No disrespect, this guy is easily the worst mid laner in the LPL. Like, he makes Fly look like a superstar. He either plays Cassiopeia or he plays Xylian, and that's it. That is literally it. Those are his two champions.
Did you say Xylian?
Yes.
The fuck is wrong with you? It's Zillion.
What am I supposed to... No, I say Xylian. The fuck?
It's Zillion. 100% Zillion.
Anyways, that's not... Are you... So, he plays one of those two champions, and that's his entire pool. And then Captain got subbed for this guy. And then in summer, they signed Yi, or Yeah, or however you want to pronounce his name. A little prospect. Right now, there's the NEST Cup going on. Well, it happened recently. All the teams play their sub players. So Yeah was playing against a ton of other sub players. He still managed to not be impressive. I genuinely forget he's on this roster. Like, it's that bad. It's not that he's horrible. He's just forgettable, which I think is even worse. He's basically like an Evelyn one trick because he's invisible to both teams, essentially. Basically, but worse. Like, I my brain cannot fathom that they kept on trying to force this guy, being that Captain played really well on IG's team, on IG's academy team, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna play Karma and Seraphine. Even though you were playing, Jace and Akali in the Academy League, oh, you looked really bad on Karma and Seraphine. Yeah, we're gonna leave you on the bench. It's like,
yeah,
how bad was this guy running it in scrims that they never revisited that idea?
It, yeah.
So, anyways, they blew up their entire roster. Longxing is gone. Their jungler Xiaopeng, who is probably their best player, is gone. Their mid laners are all gone other than Captain, but they're apparently signing UCal, so Captain's still not going to play. Their AD carry Sam D is gone, and their supports are still there, but they should be the ones that are going too. So I have TT is going to be interesting. They are apparently trying to sign Chieftain, who
Okay.
was on Fredit Brion last year,
Yeah.
well this year. I
I just think of WoW
don't
anytime I hear Chieftain.
I don't know why. I think Xiaopeng was better. Like
Maybe they weren't.
I,
Maybe
I
he wanted to leave.
I guess, but I don't know where to, kind of a thing. That's why. So he's a free agent, and he should be picked up. Will he be picked up? I don't know, but he could be.
Mm.
Like he could go to like Rogue Warriors. I think Rogue Warriors actually could go Long Xing Xiaopeng, and that would actually make the team somewhat viable.
Mm.
He could go to NIP. I have no idea what's the plan, but I think he's good enough to be picked up. Either way, apparently this roster is who knows in the top lane, Chieftain in the jungle, Yukal in the mid lane, who knows in the bot lane. So there's a lot up in the air with the good old Thunder Chads, if you will, as I like to call them, because that's what this team is essentially. Just 5 absolute Chads playing a game.
Well, I was actually lying earlier. There is another Western team in the LPL. Jeff Bezos bought out Ultra Prime. We got our brand new Amazon Prime theme team.
I wish.
Imagine if it was just like their logo is just the Amazon Prime logo.
It would make them more interesting.
Well, they have. I mean, dude, Prime Gaming is a thing on Twitch. You know, you got your league capsules.
It would be the most interesting thing that this team has. I'm gonna be honest.
That'd be kind of funny. Amazon buying a Chinese spot when they're not even a thing in China, right? Yeah, that's all. What's that? Alibaba or Billy? Yeah, Alibaba. Yeah. Whatever. Sorry, I'm being goofy.
No, but just like the prospect of it.
It's so dumb.
It is. And and all I can remember is, oh god, like this team they had the potential, but and it's funny because I see UP and my brain goes to Unlimited Potential, which was an old team from times long past in the LCK. So I see UP, that's where my brain goes. And then I look at this team and I'm like, dude,
they got 15th,
what?
yeah.
Like I have nothing for this team. And they had good they beat LNG in summer. Should they have beaten LNG? No, LNG really ran it down mid. But they have the potential.
Mm.
Like but that kind of makes it worse. The fact that they should have finished better than they did kind of makes it a whole lot worse.
I guess just for people who don't know, this is E-Star rebranded.
Yeah,
it got rebranded.
They rebranded.
Yeah.
For anyone who happens to play League and play or know anything about Overwatch, it's the same team that this team does own an Overwatch team. There's actually quite a few teams that own Overwatch teams. But this team is owned by the Nankin Corp. They've done nothing since they joined. Another team that they kind of bought out a place and they invested nothing in their team.
Mm-hmm.
Their top laner ZS, he's serviceable. He's not memorable. Their jungler is a Lee Sin one trick who has a 30% win rate on Lee Sin. So take that as you will. Their mid laner is the only thing worth noting right now because Xiao Kaobao, I think that he was done horribly dirty on this team because they would play through anyone that wasn't him. And when the one time that they did play through him, they looked really good. I'm like, oh, funny how that works out. They had SMLZ, who was I think SMLZ is much better than people give him credit for, but he's starting to get old and he's not a new face, so he's not gonna get contracts from top teams, which is a shame because I think he's still a top tier player. And I cannot remember their support for the life of me. So that says a lot about the team.
Xiaohu.
Oh shit, Xiaohu. Holy, I forgot.
PCS guy, yeah.
So he came onto E-Star. He blew everyone out of the water on E-Star, and then he disappeared for 2021. 2021, he did nothing on Ultra Prime. Literally nothing. If they had like subbed out this guy for like a traffic cone, I don't think anyone would have noticed a difference. It's that bad. He was completely irrelevant on Ultra Prime. So I have no idea what's the plan with Ultra Prime or their bot lane or anything regarding this team.
Maybe Jeff really should buy that spot.
It would be more interesting. I will give you that.
All right, our final in our 2-hour, 18-minute video is what Weibo Gaming. For all you anime fans. For those who don't know, Suning sold their spot. It seems like, though, they are keeping the Suning roster, so that's exciting at the very least. Ben SoFM, Angel Wang Feng, and I guess was on their new sport for 2021.
No, so On was one who replaced Sword Art.
Yep.
I
Do you
just
think
don't know
Sword
if
Art
it's
goes
staying.
back? Genuine question here. Do you reunite Sword Art Wang Feng?
You could, and it would make the team be interesting again because On was a bit of a tragedy. There's a joke that he should just rename to Off because that's kind of what it looked like, really. Is like are we referring to his brain, to his computer screen? I don't know. He had a bit of a wild split, let's put it that way. I mean, then again, he was replacing Sword Art, so it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be easy to begin with, but still, like. It was rough, even if he wasn't replacing Sword Art, it was rough.
I know. Ben also had some issues, right? This year, he didn't look as dominant as he did in 2020.
No, he relied way too heavily on Gwen. He's our best Gwen player. To be fair, I think Ben is the best Gwen player in the LPL. His Gwen is nasty. It's like BDD on fucking Zoe levels of nasty. That being said, it's one pick, right? Yeah. Everything else he was fairly, irrelevant on. So for reference, right? So Suning made it to Worlds Finals in 2020. In spring of 2020, they beat LNG, and then they beat WE, and then they fell to Top Esports. So they fell in the third round of playoffs. And in summer, they fell in the first round of playoffs.
I watched that game because I remember it was Game 5, I think, and SoFM just inted on what's that guy? Olaf. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, the slamming of the axes.
And then you just had Icon just playing Lulu mid.
Yeah, it was. I just remember that game was wild. That's all I remember.
It was literally just SOFM.
It was like one of the few LPL games I watched.
Physically trying to int the game.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an easy year for Suning. Also, for those of you who don't know, Suning never were a big team in the LPL. They were never a rich team, but they were a team they were really good with their scouting. So they were always very reliant on their rookies, and that's how they made it to Worlds, and that's how they made it, with all these players. That's how they got Huan Feng through scouting. They got Bin through scouting. Yeah. They got Angel through scouting.
I think Huan Feng and Bin played together for a while too. Or was that it's Huan Feng and SoFM?
No, it's Huan Feng. No, it's Huan Feng and Leon.
Oh, Leon. Yeah, okay. I was like, someone used to always play with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Suning got their, they got where they got to through, talent and scouting. And that kind of hit a bump in 2021, right? They reached their potential. So the team ran out of money, so they had to sell their spot. And that's where Weibo Gaming came in, because for those of you who don't know, Weibo is basically the Chinese equivalent of Twitter. It's their main social media. So it's massive. It's massive.
All the TSM fans are starting to learn it,
Yeah, they have to.
They have to. For any hope.
Getting TT's Academy sub.
Hey Rob, if you're watching this, sucks to be you. That's all I'm saying. Anyone who's watching this and watches talking TSM, I pour one out for you. Because that's brutal. That's brutal.
So here's actually a fun fact about talking TSM and Hardstuck Gold. That's the main reason why Mike actually started this, was because he felt so bad for the people who had to listen to the talking TSM.
So true.
He was like, you know what, I should do something to try to cheer them up, right? So that's how we all got here.
It's like giving like the giving tree. It's like donations essentially. I'm trying to help out people. We're in a less fortunate situation. Yeah.
The poor TSM fans.
Yeah. They're rigorous amounts of copium. I mean, hey, all I'm saying is every single year that TSM makes Worlds, the LCK wins. Every year TSM doesn't, the LPL wins.
Keep them
out. It's a fun fact. So
keep them away.
We need for the glory of Korea.
Hold on.
Holy shit! I
just realized something. So what if the LPL is sending Shen Yi and
sleeper agents?
Exactly, to troll
Oh my
on TSM
god.
so they don't make it to Worlds, so China takes the Worlds again.
I mean,
Holy
because we all
shit,
know
it's the
TSM would
OP
knock out China.
strats.
You know, it would just be. Would it really
It's
be
the OP
fair?
strats, dude.
Yeah.
You send 2 sleeper agents.
Well, that's what Sword Art was, right? That's why
Oh
that team
god.
fell apart. It makes sense now. Um,
It all it
that's
all
why.
fits
That's
in.
why they picked Nocturne Game 5. Yeah, it makes total sense now. Um, but
Slander aside.
no, honestly though, I if this roster stays together, I would love to see Suning have another year, or I guess Weibo now. Um, like have another year together because I think if they were fine, if they can get Sword Art and redo that 2020 roster as one last run, that would be really really fun. And we know Sword Art is planning on returning to the LPL. That you just saw that rumor like a couple minutes ago before we started.
Literally, like right before we started second segment. So.
Yeah, so that would be really 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 fun. Any other thoughts on the LPL as a whole?
I think that we're gonna see the third, four different teams going to Worlds next year. The only team that went this year that's probably going next year, who's even fighting, is gonna be EDG.
Yeah.
I think right now,
LNG can
BLG
make it.
BLG is making a good run. Yeah, it's true. I forgot about LNG. I think, but like BLG is making like a really good statement. Fuck, if top goes, if they keep night, and if they get Zoom, they're gonna make a good statement for it. They're gonna make a good run for it. So I think it's gonna be really interesting. But it's gonna be anyone who used to watch the LPL. I think they're gonna be coming into a very different league in 2022 because there's going to be like there's a lot of rosters that we literally just said we know one person, maybe two, and everyone is question mark.
Also, like I think I brought it up earlier, but I think the meta changes are particularly interesting for the LPL region that's really known for being aggressive. If we still have these, not turret plates, turret bounties and dragon bounties and Baron bounties at the level they're at. Like, I mean, the smites are the same level right now, same damage, and then you get 700 extra gold for a Baron kill on top of the 1500 Baron gold.
Yep.
Like, we're gonna be seeing so much more aggression for these 50-50 plays, I think.
And the LPL has always been known for
aggression.
Baron steals. Not only aggression, but Baron steals specifically. Like JJ, he stole. How many did he steal from Dom1's nose in the finals? Like I think he stole like 2 Barons and 2 dragons.
I'll say this: Smite with the changes, Smite cannot be the same regardless on level. It's ridiculous. Like if I'm 2 levels up on a jungler, I should not be worrying about them to the same level I'm worrying about now of like a Lee Sin just Q smiting, which is like almost impossible to stop. Like it's just stuff like that.
And it's interesting because they'll also bring into the equation like, do we start running Callista because she's the only thing that out guarantee. Yeah,
like genuine questions.
The LPL won't touch Nunu.
No, I know, but I that's more of a solo queue. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. So I think a lot of the meta changes are actually more. The LPL more than any other region is to me the biggest question because I think they often dictate a lot how people respond to certain meta things. So it's going to be interesting the spring split especially to pay attention to how teams handle certain things and because I know almost every single Western coach keeps their eyes on the LPL constantly. I know Bjergsen was talking about that. Peter Dunn talks about it. So just stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. Honestly, it's a great episode. We had a lot to touch on. I might split this up into 2 and release it over 2 days. So if you're seeing it like this and we didn't mention it, that's why it would probably make more sense logistically because it's a really long episode. I mean, I thought our first hour 45 episode was long with Brock and Rob, but I think we kind of shattered that. So I'll probably split this into 2. If not, just know I was too lazy to. But unironically, thank you for coming on, JJ. It's been fun.
No problem.
It's nice to have someone at the Game Haus who knows a lot more about the Eastern teams than any of us idiots do. I'm more of an I'm LCS, LCK. Even I tried to watch most LCK games, but most of them half asleep anyway.
So one thing my insomnia is good for, it keeps me up. So I get to watch.
That is a benefit. That is a benefit. But hey, check out the other episodes if you haven't already. In a week or two, we should be doing our LCS team rankings. That should be fun. We'll probably have Brock and Rob on for that again.
Nice.
We'll argue about why Dignitas deserves 10th, and if anyone does not give Dignitas 10th, I'm actually going to fight them.
Okay, no. So here's the thing: if someone does not give Dignitas 10th, you call me. I will join this call and I will fight them too.
You know what? I'm gonna see like Rob's gonna be like, yeah, so FlyQuest is 10th.
I think Evil Geniuses.
I think JoJo Pewd's awful. TSM.
You should go back to Fortnite.
Yeah, go back to Fortnite. JoJo.
They're gonna just be 10th place.
JoJo's joining Ultra Prime as their new mid laner. But like honestly though, it's been fun. Thank you for coming on. We'll probably do an episode together at some point again. I just don't know when. Maybe for the LPL finals. LPL playoffs usually last longer than any other playoffs.
Oh yeah. Especially now that we have like gauntlets. And shit like that.
So we'll probably do an episode for that at some point, or maybe another one before the season starts when all the rosters.
Once we have something
but
to work with.
Again, check out the other stuff. Check out Talking TSM if you hate your life. And check out thegamehaus.com if you want to see some actual League of Legends and other esports content along with traditional sports. So, bye-bye.
Bye.